Well, welcome back, folks. I've started on the front shock absorbers, front forks. As you can see here, I've got them all apart. It took me probably half an hour to get these apart. They're actually very simple shocks. They're one of the simplest designs I've ever encountered. The only thing that really holds this whole assembly together for all practical purposes is this snap ring that goes in the end right here of the tube. That's about it. Once you get that out, it really just comes apart. These little retainer rings right here are used to retain this. It's like a bushing on the end of the shafts. So I've got them basically cleaned. I ran them through my parts washer tank and got all the oil off them. They did have that odd smelling Japanese fork oil. Some people claim that's a fish oil. I don't know whether that's actual or not, but this one right here, and these are grouped. The parts are kept together by shock, by the way. So all of these parts go together. All of these parts, or at least originally, went together. This bottom tube here, this bolt right here, is actually a 1/4 inch. And so they probably lost the original, and I'm guessing it was a teenager, fished around in his dad's garage and came up with a 1/4 inch bolt and just forced it in there. I'm going to have to take a look at that a little closer. I'll run it's supposed to be 6mm. I'll run a 6mm chase through there and see if that can clean up the threads. It probably won't. If it doesn't, what I'll end up doing is putting a helicoil in those threads to repair that, get that back to 6mm. In terms of the fork tubes themselves, that'd be these two chrome pieces right here. As it turns out, apparently, this is a one model year only design, 1971, 72 and up. They changed the design quite a bit, at least it appears that way on the internals. And these tubes, decent replacement tubes, I have not been able to find. I've been looking for them for even way before I took this apart. I kept an eye out on on eBay and anywhere else I could think of searching for replacement tubes here for these forks. I've seen worse shape. You can see the finish right there, all starting to pit. This one is probably a little worse. I haven't been able to locate anything that's any better than this. In fact, what I have found out there on eBay is generally in much worse condition than what these are. They're bent or they've got serious pitting in the metal. So I'm going to have to go ahead and have these reworked. I did manage to locate, and by the way, NOS are just not available, not that I've been able to find anywhere. So NOS really isn't a viable solution either. I did manage to find a hard chrome shop in California, the U.S. state of California, Southern California in fact, I think in the LA area. They do a lot of commercial work for industrial equipment, you know, the big lift cylinders, oil and gas pipeline cylinders, you know, for equipment. And they also do motorcycle tubes as part of their business. And I did talk to them, and they apparently do them quite often, motorcycle tubes, and that's their business, is this kind of work. So they pre-measure this tube. This is a not only 31mm. They do pre-measure it in several spots to get a reference of what it was originally. And then what they will do is take the original chrome off, clean up the steel underneath, re-hard chrome it, and then grind it back to its original approximate diameter. And I did a little checking. They're very well known for what they do. And so these two tubes are going to be on their way to California here in the next day or two. And I figure it'll take a couple of weeks turnaround time for these tubes to get back, which is perfectly acceptable for me, as I probably won't need them for a few weeks anyway. It is expensive. These are going to cost me just under $200 each to have them refinished. And that's pretty pricey in my opinion, but I really don't have any other options right now that I could come up with. So that's the current status of the front fork tubes and shocks, and somewhere later on, once I've gotten into these parts a little further, I'll update you on where I'm at. Obviously these bottom tubes need to be reconditioned. That's pretty easily done. I've done a lot of that. I don't know if these were originally clear coated. They might have been, but I'll recondition the lower tubes, probably end up replacing these top nuts. I think you can get these pretty easily still. Most of the rest of the parts can be salvaged except for the boots and the seals. These two rubber pieces will be replaced with new, but most of the rest of the parts I think. I also replaced this threads here. If you recall from the previous video, if you watched it, someone had put a 1/4 inch bolt in there and had damaged the threads beyond salvage or repair. So originally I think I mentioned I was going to use a helicoil. I chose not to use a helicoil, rather I used a time cert. That's what a time cert looks like, and you can cut those, you can cut them to size if you need to, or length. And these are the tools that one uses to install the time cert. It's a little bit more involved than a helicoil, but take a look right there. You can see the repair. I think it does a better repair. It makes a better repair when it's done. This is a solid insert, as you can see. It's not just a piece of wound wire. Helicoils work okay, and I've used many of them over the years, and I have a full set of helicoil repairs kits, but I thought for this I'd just use a time cert since I already had it and I didn't have to buy it. Well, as the intro to this next segment here indicated, it's been almost 6 weeks, and I have my fork tubes back from the chrome or rechromer in Southern California. From the day I shipped them to the day they were delivered was 5½ weeks exactly. So at the point I'm making this video, it's about 6 weeks later. And you can see what they look like right there. I have not cleaned them. These are literally how they came out of the packaging. In fact, there's still a little grease in the ends here from their process where they did their thing to them. Expensive, as I indicated. A lot of money for this kind of thing. That's something you have to keep in mind when you're doing a full-blown restoration. Is there are some things that are going to cost you a lot of money, and unfortunately these days chrome work is one of them. Chrome is just outrageously expensive. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a few minutes. But these are expensive, and it was really the only option I could come up with. I couldn't find NOS. I couldn't find anything really at all that was in any better condition than what I started with. So I just sent them off. They did their thing and they're back. Now keep in mind, this is not decorative chrome. This is not like chrome plating that you would see on a fender or handlebars or similar components on a motorcycle. This is hard chrome. And this is done just like you would do a cylinder, a lift cylinder on a piece of heavy equipment. The process to do this is completely different for all practical purposes from decorative chrome. This is much tougher. It needs to be because of the environment it has to live in. So let's talk a little bit more detail about the tubes themselves. These are supposed to be nominally 31 millimeter. That's what Honda calls out. And so what we're going to do is we're going to measure and see how they did here with my caliper. You see I got that set to millimeters. I'll zero it out. And I haven't really done anything here except I'll wipe off one end to make sure it's clean. Again, zero out my caliper, and let's see how they did in terms of hitting 31 millimeters. Okay. Get this just see if I can move that up so you can see it. About 30.92, 30.93. Let's do this other one. .92, 30.93. So I think they came as close as you could expect to getting these back to 31 nominal millimeters. I don't know what the tolerance is, but I'm going to go with what they've done. And I think once these get cleaned up, they'll be virtually perfect. You can see some of the grease, I think, there in the end from their manufacturing process. So these now can be reinstalled in the lower fork tubes, new fork seals, and the next time you see these tubes, they will be installed and ready to mount back in the bike. So enough of that right now. Let's move on to one other element that's associated with these fork tubes, and that's these caps right here. These are the original chromed caps that came out of the ends right here. These thread in like that, and you can see these are not in very good condition. You can see the shape of the chrome, and they're all beat up from over the years, people using the wrong tools to remove them. These are still available from Honda, and in fact they're very reasonably priced. So I did order a new set of them. That's what this is right here. This is a brand new one, my right hand. And these cost $7.10 US dollars each. So obviously I had two of them. And this is a situation where you have to pay attention when you're buying your parts. There's no way I could get these re-chromed, one of them, for $7.10. And even then, this one in particular is all beat up. So even if I was to get this re-chromed, I'd have to put a lot of time into trying to clean up the edges where it's been mangled in the past. To re-chrome one of these, I don't know, I didn't get them quoted, but I bet, knowing today's prices, it'd be 15 to 20 US dollars each versus $7.10 they have brand new from Honda. And I did order new seals, or O-ring, as you can see right there, there's an O-ring to go with them. So that was a no-brainer. Again, you need to pay attention on your parts. The other part I want to talk about very similarly is this cap nut. And this is what goes on the top of the top section of the triple tree, right there. Goes on the top of the stem of the bike. This is the original. Again, you can see the condition it's in. And this is also available from Honda, brand new. Right there. Identical. $6.21 each. Again, probably 15 bucks at least to replate this versus $6. So it does, to reiterate, it does pay to take your time and research your parts. I don't just automatically send everything off to the chrome shop because I just have learned from experience that do some research, see what's still available. You never know on these kind of things. Some cases are outrageously expensive. In this case, they're not. So the decision for me was very easy in this situation. So we're going to go ahead now and put these forks back together, and then I'll mount them back on the bike, and that's probably about where I'll bring you back into the picture is when I'm getting ready to put them back on the bike. Well, it's a good week or more later, and as you can see, I got the front forks done. Painting's been done. The paint I allowed to dry for a week or so. And then I reassembled them with the freshly re-chromed tubes. And they're all back together. There's no oil in them yet. I will put the fork oil in. One of the last things I'll do after everything's ready to go is I'll put the fork oil in. So they're dry right now. The seal in here, in each of these, is brand new. The fork seal itself that rides on the tubes, those are new Honda brand seals, still available. Fork, the boots right here, these protective boots for the tubes are Honda brand, still available. Those are obviously new. New drain screws here at the ends, or at the bottoms. Those are new, along with gaskets. Those parts are still available from Honda, and those again, are new. And of course, on the ends, I talked about this before, these caps, those are brand new from Honda, as well as along with the O-ring in here that seals this. And these are not tightened in, they're just kind of spun in right there to, you can hear the spring in there, just to hold it together. So these are all ready to go. I will probably temporarily mount them back on the bike. I can't finish up the front end assembly with these until I get the fork ears for the headlight that fit over the top of this tube that the headlight mounts to. Those parts are off at the chromers, and we'll talk about those at another time, but I will temporarily at least mount these in the front triple tree to essentially get them out of the way and make sure they're good and safe. You'll notice the tape that I put on the fork tubes themselves, and that's just to protect them from getting banged around inadvertently or mistakenly for now. Of course, that will come off later on when they're installed on the bike. So that's the fork tubes and my solution for solving the dilemma of the tubes themselves that were very corroded, very typical, and not being available NOS or reasonably good used. So I think we've got this part of it about ready to go. That's going to be it for this video today, folks. Any issues, questions, thoughts, drop me a note. Otherwise, as usual, thanks for watching.